Hey, I'm Josh Diesel Comics. Marvel news of the past weekish.
Hmm.
First, new details came out on the firing of visual effects head Victoria Alonso.
Yes.
Some new details have emerged from Marvel Studios firing Victoria Alonso. The MCU's head visual effects executive stepped away from the company amid controversy about her involvement with another studio's projects. While speculation that had something to do with Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania's reception, it seems that it really isn't the case, according to the Brain of Marvel Studios book. In Joanna Robinson, Dave Gonzalez, and Gavin Edwards' account of Marvel Studios lore, the decision to fire the prominent executive came because of a refusal to remove some pride symbols from Quantumania. Co-president Louis D'Esposito ended up removing the moments in question despite Alonso's protests. The book reads, Alonso had broken one of Feige's cardinal rules: don't speak out publicly against the company. A source close to the matter said that later that year, Feige suggested to Alonso she had outgrown her role at Marvel. Like it's sort of like, hey, maybe you should move on. Let's find something else. We don't. You're too good for this job now. He reportedly cautioned her to keep her head down and do the work.
Oh.
In early 2023, Alonso refused to act on Marvel's request to remove LGBTQ pride symbols from Quantumania for foreign markets. The account continues, the atmosphere of the studio was tense. The Department of Yes had said no. D'Esposito outsourced the visual effects work anyway, an act Alonso regarded as a betrayal. Among the other topics surrounding the Marvel Studios right now is much the franchise is banking on Jonathan Majors' King and Conqueror. During an episode of the Big Picture podcast, the MCU book writers Joanna Robinson talked about the impact of Majors' performance. During Loki and Ant-Man Quantumania, the strength of those two performance appearances alone had Marvel Studios' brain trust trying to establish the plans for this phase of the MCU around Kang. Now with Major's legal situation, the path forward is muddled. Continuing on, Marvel Studios redirecting after Endgame. The multiverse saga has been an adjustment period for Marvel Studios, letting go of the Infinity Saga and moving on presented challenges. But the directors of Avengers Endgame think people should have some faith. The Russo brothers spoke to Radio Times of Marvel and Phase 4 and beyond. They're acknowledging a more complex story, but Joe Russo also told the outlet there's no other place in Hollywood that would have earned that trust as they navigate the rest of the road towards Avengers Secret Wars.
Mm.
Quote, there's nobody better at telling stories than Kevin Feige right now. If you're going to bet on anybody, you bet on him. I think that the type of story that unfolded in the phases that we worked on was a very specific kind of story that wrapped itself up in those phases, and now it's time for a new story. And I think that's the direction Marvel's headed in. They're telling you a
Mm.
very different story, a very new story, and I think the audience just needs to be patient with the redirection because you can't keep telling the story same story over and over, or you lose the audience. Um, so a couple of things in there. First, let's talk about Kang. Uh, I would absolutely hate it if Jonathan Majors is the kind of guy that would do that and he gets convicted because he's been killing it as Kang in the different variants. The Victor Timely, fantastic.
A- Agreed. While you take your sip, recent news not good.
I know. That's why I'm like, oh, you asshole. Why did you have to do like that? And,
Very not good.
yeah.
So, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they have tooled Loki to change.
What, you think, like, at the end of this, they may have reshot it for the last episode to, like, change him?
I feel like this is like I feel like it's teetering on
Or
like the
they might
fence.
they might throw in a scene to leave it ambiguous as to whether he's still the
Absolutely, absolutely. Uh, well, I mean, either that or Terrence Howard walks out or something. But um,
surprise.
surprise, bitches.
I've now changed the math as well.
Too bad it's me. Yeah, I think that's already taken place, and I feel like once Marvel gets wind of like the axe is coming,
Yeah.
like that's it. They're gonna fire on all cylinders. So I feel like we're gonna get either Majors at the end of Loki still, and it's good, or they do leave it ambiguous and it's like, oh fuck. So we'll see what happens, but
Yeah. So
it's not good.
the last report I saw was that the New York DA was trying to get records from an incident in London, in the UK, from a couple years ago. That might have also included assault on a female. So it's not looking good for Jonathan Majors.
The most updated one that I saw
Yeah.
was that the defense is trying to get a bunch of stuff suppressed because they said that if this material was to hit the public, it might be possibly damaging to their client's career.
They don't want to come out and say possibly. They have to.
That's not a possible. That's a for sure.
We know for sure it will, but we're just gonna say
if you're saying
we're being optimistic.
If you're saying you want to hide it officially, then that means not good.
Yeah.
So it's I feel like when it does come down the pipe and it happens.
Although, did you see that weird? I don't know. Did you see that weird video from TMZ? Jonathan Majors breaking up a fight between two women, from two school kids. I think it was two women. Yeah. Apparently, he was randomly walking by in LA, and these kids were filming a fight between.
What?
Yeah. Where was that? I think it was in. Breaks up.
A month ago.
Yeah. Yeah, from TMZ. Jonathan Majors breaking up a tense high school fight
at a Hollywood In-N-Out.
Yeah, it's so like
what?
So weird. And like now you're wondering, was this a planned thing to get PR on? Because as much as we sometimes think weird conspiracy like that sounds ridiculous, there are some people who
it's a little
do
weird.
That sort of thing to get publicity or to get good PR or I don't know. Like
his message was to stay cool.
Like
what the fuck?
That actor Jussie Smollett, who claimed he was beaten up, he did it for PR purposes, and then went to jail for it because they proved he lied. So
and he said it was racial, right?
Yeah. So would
Silly
you put this staged fight of Jonathan Majors breaking up two people beating each other up again?
Yeah.
I don't know. It all seemed a little fishy with convenient timing, but who knows?
Yeah, seems pretty fish sticks to me.
Fish sticks. Okay. Wonder Man Disney Plus TV series rumored to have been scrapped by Marvel Studios.
Would not be surprised.
I would not. All these reports are so weird. Like they're cutting back on Disney Plus content, but now they're doing more, focusing on characters with longer seasons. But then I don't know. So earlier this week, we learned that Marvel Studios is going to be going back to the drawing board with Daredevil Born Again. Another video we talked about that and how they brought back the Punisher showrunner. Essentially rebooting the series on creative level. The show's writers and directors have been fired. Only a handful of scenes shot prior to the Hollywood Studios strikes are expected to be kept. It's also been confirmed the Marvel Studios is completely overhauling how they approach making TV shows. Proper showrunners will now be hired. Fantastic. To spearhead these Disney Plus projects and TV shows will no longer be produced like movies, where they're shot in their entirety and fixed in post-production. Yikes.
Jesus.
And now another casualty of this fresh approach may have been revealed. Again, talking on the Watch podcast, Joanna Robinson, the author of the MCU The Reign, Marvel Studios says she's heard they're trashing the Wonder Man project. If correct, this is obviously shocking. I don't know that it's shocking, but like Daredevil Born Again, cameras were rolling on Wonder Man before the WGA after strikes brought work to a halt. Interestingly, while the trades reported on the series revolving around Simon Williams, it was never actually officially announced by Marvel Studios. Aquaman and Lost Kingdom star Yahya Abdul Mateen II has been tapped to play Wonder Man, with Ben Kingsley set to reprise his Iron Man 3 role as Trevor Slattery. In April, Demetrius Gross was confirmed as the Grim Reaper, while quite a few A-listers, including Ed Harris and Courtney Cox, were rumored to appear. In terms of Wonder Man's creative team, Shang-Chi And the Legend of Ten Rings director Destin Daniel Cretton is overseeing the series, while Andrew Guest has been tapped as head writer. I don't know that they would, like, they're leaning on Destin Daniel Cretton to do Kang Dynasty. Would they really take a TV show away from him? I feel like they'd give him a chance to do that, and then the other thing, right? If they're gonna keep him,
I feel like they would give some type of chance.
Like if it wasn't working, Marvel thought it wasn't working for him running the show for Wonder Man. What does that mean for him doing Kang Dynasty? Like, if they don't have enough faith in him to do a TV show.
Yeah, I feel like he's gonna that's gonna get changed. Like I don't think he'd get. I obviously I understand they announced it, but it's how far off, and they've done what for it? They probably started
You mean Kang, not Wonder Man?
Oh, sorry, I meant for. Well, didn't you say that? Sorry, weren't we just talking about the director? I'm sorry.
Yeah, the director is overseeing Wonder Man.
That's what I mean.
And Kang Dynasty. So why would they cancel a right? And if they're canceling, why would they trust him to do?
Because I feel like they've already put the motions in place to change that up.
You think they're gonna get rid of him for Kang Dynasty?
Yeah, well, either that or reduced role, like to something else. Like if they don't have faith and they haven't started, like let's be, you know what I mean? Like for Secret Wars, or Kang Dynasty, sorry, they've done, they probably shot a very minuscule amount with Jonathan Majors, like small.
Oh, I don't know that they've shot anything for that. The script's probably not even done.
Well, then there you go. So I feel like they have the ability to do a massive and change up the position that they're trying to go in.
Which is strange because Shang-Chi was really good.
Yes, I agree.
It's very I don't know. Maybe they'll keep him. I don't know.
I mean, I would like him to be able to do stuff, but if they don't have faith, right? Like I'm worried.
Yeah.
And it's like, but at the same time, I don't think this, like the Wonder Man thing, is any indication of Marvel losing faith, really. Just because
they just don't want to spend the money. Like
they don't want to spend the money. They want to spend the time now. They're probably just like, we want to focus our time.
We wonder how much after the strikes impacted that. Given some actors have other projects lined up that they're not available to come back and finish Wonder Man because it'll be 2 years because they've lined up everything else, right?
Yep.
Okay. Marvel Studios was shocked by negative response to Quantumania.
So silly, dude.
Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was supposed to kick off Phase 5 in style, introducing Kang and Conqueror and finally revealing the secrets of the quantum realm. While the movie did those things, an over-reliance on the volume and the bizarre ending meant it was ultimately a major disappointment. We know the ending was reshot right before the sequel arrived in theaters, and in hindsight, entrusting such an important story to a filmmaker who had previously been tasked with delivering the MCU's lighthearted palate cleansers was a blunder. Random Marvel Studios author Joanna Robinson recently appeared on The Watch. Man, there's so much business coming out of that. Marvel Studios is aware of what's happening to their brand. My understanding, having talked to some people, is that Quantumania really shook them, and I'm sure Secret Invasion shook them further, but Quantumania really shook them because they felt they had something good, because they all internally thought everyone's going to love this. And then they put it out and people didn't, and they were like, oh no, our internal barometer is not attuned to what people want anymore. With Quantumania, they were like, we put out a banger, and that's not how people felt. Marvel Studios is currently producing so many movies and TV shows, we perhaps shouldn't be surprised that some misfires are beginning to slip through the cracks. In the case of Quantumania, placing in front of a giant visual effects screen resulted in the story being told feeling somewhat soulless. It's also to figure out why they introduced the Conqueror variant of Kang, who by rights should have been the multiverse saga's big bad, only to have him defeated by Ant-Man and ultimately killed. Yep, that's 100% a valid argument.
Agreed.
Really, he should have killed... Well, I mean, we talked about this before. He should have killed Scott Lang to set him up as an actual big bad. And not
either that or Hank and his wife.
Oh, killed them Janet instead?
Yeah. I mean, I would have settled for that, but...
Someone should have died.
Yeah, someone should have fucking died. There are obviously rumors that that version of Kang is still alive, he's going to come back. And he is still going to be like the conqueror.
I mean, he got sucked into the thing, right? So
right.
Yeah,
They're anticipating that he's just further in the quantum realm, and then he's going to hop back out.
It's now Robert Downey Jr. It sucked him in and changed and made him white.
Is this Tropic Thunder backwards?
Yeah. A dude playing a dude.
Okay. Yeah, it's a dude playing a dude playing another.
So, more Marvel news, comic book news. Jed MacKay and Pepe Larraz to launch Marvel's big vampire event, given it's Halloween today.
Yes, happy Halloween!
We will be watching The Werewolf by Night in color tonight.
Oh, fun!
Before the Leaf game.
I'm going to try to give away candy, but I don't think it's going to happen.
We did that 2 years ago during the pandemic. Mm-hmm. We just put, a bowl on the porch.
I remember this story.
Yeah, because I posted the video. So everyone except these little bastard kids were respectful. It took like 1 or 2 little chocolate bars and left, and
Yep.
These like 4 teenagers came up and started just filling their pockets, and I noticed it on the camera. So my lovely wife Kate went out and scolded them.
You just doxed her.
Her name's on the website, you nut. And then threw the candy at them as they were scurrying away. And that's the last time we put out candy, because people don't know how to raise their kids.
Oh, god damn.
Okay, so Marvel's Spring in 2024 crossover asks readers who will bite it as Blood Hunt begins. Current Avengers writer Jed MacKay will spearhead the event, with the triumphant return of Pepe Larraz from House of X and X-Men, colorist Marty Gracia on art for what promises to be a visual spectacle. Given Jed MacKay's writing Avengers, Doctor Strange, and the Moon Knight, it seems most likely Blood Hunt will spiral from his own personal darker corner of the Marvel Universe. MacKay's run with Alessandro Cappuccio on Moon Knight will come to a night's end in December 2023, and their work on Moon Knight has included plenty of vampire hunting. Combine that with the death of Doctor Strange. Strange is referencing when Doctor Strange once wiped out all vampires, including Dracula, and the use of blood and bite in teaser information, and it's clear we're heading for an all-out Marvel Universe vampire war. Said MacKay, we've got the Avengers, obviously, Doctor Strange and Miles Morales, and of course, there's vampires. Where there's vampires, you're going to find Blade. You're going to see a lot of vampires. Both MacKay and Marvel editor-in-chief tease the event that will lead us to significant change in Marvel Universe, with MacKay calling Blood Hunt one of the biggest things he's done. Well, there's no variant covers here. So there is a new Blade series out. I think it's on issue 3. The first 2 issues were good, so I'm going to keep buying it until see if it turns out not to be good. But the first 2 issues are interesting, and it didn't have vampires in the first 2 issues. Like, that didn't seem to be the... So I don't know if that's going to cross over to this or it's just going to be separate, but yeah, who doesn't like vampires?
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Okay, last bit of Marvel weekly news. Marvel Comics and Star Wars. Marvel Comics shares first details about upcoming Thrawn, Jango Fett, and Mace Windu titles.
Ooh.
In 2024, Marvel Comics will deliver a host of new adventures in a galaxy far, far away with the launch of even more Star Wars titles. Last weekend, Lucasfilm held the publishing event at New York Comic Con, and an all-star lineup of Star Wars talent joined the Lucasfilm publishing creative director Michael Stiglane to give us a first look at what next year holds for Marvel Comics line of Star Wars comics. The exciting announcements include all the new limited series starring Mace Windu, which I believe is being written by Mark Bernardin, who does a podcast with Kevin Smith. He's also written on he wrote a bit he's mostly a screenwriter or a TV show writer. He wrote on Continental, which is that John Wick spinoff. He wrote on Castle Rock, the 2 seasons, or at least the first season he wrote on. He also wrote on, unfortunately, Picard season 2. He's also done his own comic, and he wrote, I forget what other comic he's written on, but
Okay.
Oh, he did a Black, White, and Blood Star Wars Darth Vader short story. That
That's
was
cool.
pretty good. Yeah. So he's got talent.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's doing the Mace Windu. Who, I mean, yeah. I believe he said in one of his episode podcast about him writing this. I think he made a joke asking if he could have Mace Windu say motherfucker, but I believe Marvel Comics turned him down. Anyways, the exciting
That's so funny.
Mace Windu stands just time for the 25th anniversary. Star Wars Phantom Menace, a comic adaptation of Timothy Zahn's #1 best-selling Thrawn Alliances novel, and a return of Jango Fett. Launching in January, Star Wars Thrawn Alliances will see Zahn team up with writer Jody Houser and artist Andrea DeVito and Pat Olive to bring this groundbreaking chapter of Thrawn's saga to Marvel Comics. In the story, we'll witness the tactical prowess of the galaxy's most dangerous mind in action as Thrawn begins his legendary rise to power and forges a lasting and deadly partnership with Darth Vader. And if you are still wondering how Thrawn knew Anakin Skywalker after watching Ahsoka, it will be this series that sheds light on it. I have read a number of new Thrawn books. I've read that book, and it's good. So I will see what it's like to see what it looks like on page. So yeah. January also marks the explosive conclusion to Ethan Sack's Star Wars Bounty Hunter with issue 42. So that's coming to an end. Valance the Bounty Hunter has one final mission to complete, and it may indeed be his last. Can he and the crew fight their way past Boba Fett and Jabba's secret weapon? We'll find out in a grand finale that's been 4 years in the making. In February, one of the greatest Jedi must stop an incendiary secret from falling into the wrong hands in Star Wars Mace Windu. Oh yeah, it's a new limited series written by Mark Bernardin and illustrated by George Gianti. Even in the years before the Clone Wars, Mace Windu was known for his discipline, determination, and combat skills. I thought there was one more. Oh yeah, what's the Jango Fett thing? Okay. Finally in March, Ethan Sack will continue to deliver action-packed storytelling in Star Wars Criminal Underworld, Star Wars Jango Fett. Alongside Star Wars veteran artist Luke Ross, Sachs continues the legacy of one of the greatest bounty hunters. Was he one of the greatest bounty hunters? We really don't know that much about him, right?
Not
canon, anyways. Like, he got his head chopped off. We know that.
Yeah.
So this will maybe give him a better backstory. Although I haven't read all of the Star Wars stuff, so correct me if I'm wrong. If there's more Jango Fett lore out there. Alongside Star Wars veteran, read that about a mystery to solve, a treaty at risk, all this plus Aurora Singh in the mix. Do you want to be there for Jango Fett's brand new mission? So got some cover art. So it's Thrawn.
Oh, like that.
Full screen this. Mace Windu.
Looks pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Jango Fett cover's all right. Yeah, I like that.
It's like the last issue of Bounty Hunters.
That's pretty cool.
Looks like General Grievous.
That's pretty sick.
No, that's not General Grievous. Although
no, it's a droid.
It's a weird, yeah. Yeah. So that is all starting in 2024.
Those are cool.
Okay. So that's it for Marvel news. I'll annoy you with an ad, and that's it for that. YouSellComics.com, your new multi-vendor marketplace. YouSell Comics offers a site exclusively for buying and selling of all things comics, slabs, omnis, trades, and more. Sell for as low as 5% commission or 0 commission monthly tiers. Run your own auctions, unlimited bin listings. YouSellComics.com. Buy, collect,